All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at why the next industrial revolution isn't waiting for us in some distant sci-fi future. It's not 50 years away. It's actually happening right now, literally right beneath the surface of our daily lives, and it's quietly rewiring how the whole world operates. Today, we're going to explore how intelligence itself is morphing from a cool novelty into the absolute core infrastructure of the global economy. The biggest technological revolutions, they don't begin with massive headlines. They begin quietly. And that's such a crucial concept to grasp because, well, history rarely announces itself with a parade. Think back to the late 18th century. When the very first steam engines popped up, people didn't immediately foresee this massive global shift in manufacturing. No, they just thought, hey, we found a slightly better pump to get water out of these coal mines. Even the internet. In the early days, a lot of top executives honestly believed it was just a faster way to send internal company memos. We constantly, and I mean constantly, underestimate the quiet beginnings of earth-shattering shifts. By the time we all wake up to what's happening, the future's already moved in. So that brings us to the rule of three. And the fourth, because we really can't grasp our current moment without mapping out the centuries that actually got us here. Just think about the timeline for a second. In the 18th century, we had the first revolution. Steam power and mechanization finally took the load off manual human and animal muscle. Fast forward to the 19th century, the second revolution hits. Electricity in the assembly line brought us mass production and just tanked costs. Then the 20th century delivered the third revolution. Computers, the internet. They digitized information, connecting businesses all over the globe. But look at the 21st century, the fourth revolution. This isn't just about getting a faster computer or sleeker software. It's the total blurring of the physical and digital worlds. Machines aren't just following strict human-written instructions anymore. They're actually starting to make their own decisions. Which leads us to convergence, the new engine driving all of this. We're moving way beyond those fun AI chatbots or image generators we've all been playing around with, into something structurally massive. And the key thing to realize is that this revolution is not just one isolated invention. It's an unprecedented convergence. Yes, artificial intelligence is at the core, for sure, but it's colliding with advanced robotics, cutting-edge semiconductor technology, cloud computing, biotech, quantum research, and just an absolute ocean of abundant digital data. The real magic isn't in any single one of those silos. It's that every single technology here actively accelerates the others. Better AI designs more efficient semiconductors, right? Which then powers stronger cloud computing, which processes more data, which, you guessed it, trains even better AI. It's this compounding, high-speed loop that's completely changing how products are invented, designed, and built. So, how is this transforming every major industry? The crucial part is how this convergence is landing in the real physical world. Let's ground this for a second and compare a traditional factory to a modern smart factory. In the traditional setup, decisions are incredibly reactionary. A machine breaks down, production grinds to a total halt, a supervisor reviews a report, maybe hours or days later, and eventually somebody orders a fix. But contrast that with the smart factory. It uses predictive systems that instantly analyze millions of data points in real time. Sensors are checking vibration, temperature, pressure, literally every single second. The system is adjusting schedules on the fly and catching microscopic defects before a product even leaves the line. So instead of reacting to a costly disaster, the factory just prevents it entirely. And this is happening everywhere, not just manufacturing. Let's do a quick rapid-fire tour of the global economy. Over in healthcare, AI is analyzing massive data sets for imaging, rapidly speeding up life-saving drug discovery. In transportation, we're seeing autonomous port cranes and predictive AI logistics just smoothing out those crazy complex global supply chains. Look at agriculture, one of our oldest industries. Farmers are flying drones to monitor crops while AI analyzes the soil conditions to boost yields and cut waste. In energy, intelligent software is perfectly balancing the electric grid's supply and demand in real time. And finance? Algorithms are handling instant fraud detection and automated underwriting. Any one of these might seem like a small, incremental change on its own, but collectively, they are completely reshaping global commerce. And the common denominator behind all of this is the rise of cognitive productivity. Basically, cognitive productivity is using artificial intelligence to analyze info faster, automate repetitive decisions, generate ideas, and solve really complex problems. Think about it. Every past industrial revolution was ultimately about producing more value with fewer resources. Steam and electricity boosted our physical productivity. They saved our muscles. Computers sped up our information processing. But this expands our cognitive productivity.
Intelligence software is becoming this incredibly powerful partner, effectively acting as an extension of the human mind to tackle increasingly complex global challenges.
Now, while some tech predictions floating around are definitely a bit overly optimistic, the overall trend is laying down a new economic foundation.
And here's the core realization of our era. AI is not simply another software feature, it is becoming infrastructure. That is a massive distinction. Just like electricity eventually powered every single factory, intelligence is going to influence nearly every business process. This is exactly why big tech companies and sovereign governments aren't just buying software right now. They're pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into semiconductors, massive data centers, and advanced energy grids. They aren't chasing a temporary trend. No, they're in a high-stakes global race to build a brand new economic foundation.
Okay, let's bring this directly to you. What does the human impact look like? It's entirely natural to feel a bit anxious about how this geopolitical and economic shift affects everyday jobs. But let's look at past labor shifts compared to the future. In the past, mechanization obviously reduced the demand for manual labor, but it created a whole new class of machine operators. Computers automated tons of clerical work, sure, but they birthed millions of IT, digital marketing, and cybersecurity careers that didn't even exist before. The future labor shift is going to follow a very similar historical pattern. Yes, routine, repetitive tasks will increasingly automate, but new professions, a lot of which we don't even have names for yet, are going to emerge in AI development, robotics, and crucially, human-machine collaboration. Human expertise remains absolutely essential. It's just pivoting toward a partnership with our new intelligent tools. So, how do you personally thrive in this new era? Well, here's the blueprint. First, acknowledge that intelligence is becoming core infrastructure. You have to treat it like the new electricity, not some passing fad. Second, prioritize continuous, lifelong learning as job roles evolve. The days of just learning a skill once and coasting for your entire career, those are pretty much over. And third, cultivate adaptability as your most valuable economic skill. History shows us time and time again that the people and businesses who adapt to technological shifts the fastest are the ones who gain the ultimate competitive advantage. The future hasn't just arrived in a few tech hubs. It's already quietly operating right now in our hospitals, our farms, our factories, and our financial markets. Entire industries are evolving gradually and then all at once. So I have to ask you, are you prepared for a world where intelligence is as fundamental as electricity? Think deeply about what you need to learn today to be ready for the global economy of tomorrow. Thanks so much for diving into this explainer with me. Stay adaptable and definitely keep that curiosity alive.